Hello and welcome to today's video. In this video I'm going to share with you something that every property investor needs to know and needs to understand in order to make their property investment journey really successful. In this video I'm going to share with you the 6 mistakes every property investor must avoid to become a successful property investor. So I advise you to watch the video until the end because it's absolutely vital for you to understand every single point I will be sharing with you in this video. If you like this video or any of my videos, hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing tutorials. Let's get this going. Here's a mistake most property investors do. They buy property failing to conduct a research on the market trend in their investment area. They just buy the property because they see everybody is buying in order to be part of that investment scheme. The second mistake they make, they buy a property, right? Exciting to buy the property. It's kind of a dilapidated property, but guess what? They underestimate their refurbishment cost. They underestimate it significantly. I have seen so many investors come into me and say, "Oh, Rahim, how do I sort this problem out? I way underestimated my refurbishment cost." Sometimes I just tell them, listen, in the future, never ever underestimate your refurbishment. If anything, overestimate it to ensure that you're not going to be using any other person's money or any other monies to complete your refurbishment work. And on top of that, also they tend to overestimate their fair market value. If the property is worth probably in the market for about 150,000, they get too ambitious, too excited, they go for maybe 160,000, 175,000 pounds. So if you're a property investor, if you're very experienced, what you could do, if the market is saying 160,000 pounds, for example, maybe you want to leave it at 145,000 to 150,000 pounds, just so that even if it goes up at that value or over that value, you are in a good surprise rather than bad surprise. The third mistake they do, they overestimate their rental income and they underestimate their expenses. So what do I mean by this? So basically, they go on the market, see properties have been rented for say about maybe 1,000 or about 1,500 pounds. So what they do, basically, they go for the highest figure instead of trying to find a fit in a middle way, in a median number. They go for the highest number, and then obviously that then end up not being the number that they were expecting. And worst of all, they underestimate their expenses significantly because they want to see massive profit margin on their analysis. That's a massive mistake you can make. Never ever underestimate your expenses of running your property. Ensure that you overestimate it slightly, and guess what? Underestimate your rental income as well, just to make sure that if ever it goes down or it goes up, then you've got that surprise, because obviously you don't want to overestimate it so much that when the valuation officers come round, or when the actual agency who wanted to rent your property come round and say, hello, you cannot rent it at that price. So you want to be somewhere in the middle before you even venture buying those properties in the first place. The fifth mistake property investors make is not having a clear investment plan and an exit strategy. So now what do I mean by this? So if you're buying a property, for example, and this property requires renovation work, so you'd have to have plan of the renovation work, who the builders are going to be, what sort of builders do you need, how long is the renovation is going to take. So these are vital part of actually building a property portfolio. And worst of all, they don't even know what the exit strategy is. Some of them, when you ask them, what are you going to do with this property when you finish, you'll be like, I don't know, maybe I want to rent it, maybe I want to sell it. You need to know that, because that would help you significantly when it comes to your renovation cost. Because if you're renovating a property to rent versus renovating a property to sell, it has a different sort of renovation cost and presentations as well. So it's very important for you to understand that from the outset before you start your renovation work. And this also applies whether you are refurbishing the property, for example, major refurb, or you are kind of furnishing the property, okay? You need to know your target market, you need to know what sort of clientele they are, and how you want to set that property up to attract the right target market in that specific area. So you don't go on buying expensive stuff only to find out your target market really don't give a monkeys about how expensive your furnitures are or how expensive your kitchen is. The sixth and most common mistake property investors make is failing to screen their tenants and reference them properly. So what do I mean by that? Because they've done the property now, they've done all that, how they're so worried about renting the property, they want to rent it quickly as possible, so they don't bother about screening the tenant, they don't worry about doing a proper referencing check because they're worried about voids. If you're one of those, stop that now, because if you've already spent about 10 to 15 maybe £30,000 in renovating a property, that is a lot of money you would have put in your property deal. So take your time to reference the tenants, screen them, and ensure you've got the right person in your property that will not cause you any problems. So do not rush that part, because that part is one of the most important parts, because that's the fruit you would have bear after doing all that work. So you don't really want to rush that part. Take your time, get the right agency. Don't go shortcuts on this. I'm the landlord, I'm going to do everything by myself. No, get an agent to do that for you, because when they do it, they have procedures and standards that each specific tenant needs to meet in order to rent that property to them. So patient with them, get that done. Do not make that mistake, because I've made that mistake when I started. I had about 6-bedroom house. I was really worried about the rent I need to pay to the landlord. I was really worried about what's going to happen in the property. I just took random tenants and put them in that property. Guess what? It cost me nightmare. It took me about 12 months to get rid of those tenants. So take your time, do it. I'm giving you the advice now because I did it when I started. I made a massive mistake. It cost me thousands of pounds. So in order for you to save your investment, whether it's a rent to service recommendation, or you're renting the property out to a tenant, make sure you are vetting your tenant correctly in order for you to make your investment become a passive income rather than a rope on your neck. I really hope this video has been helpful. If this video has been helpful, smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing the next video.